CGCP 2857 by Chesthetica. So we have a rather strange looking position here. White has 2 queens but nothing else. Black has 2 rooks and 3 minor pieces, a pair of knights and a bishop to be specific. So technically black is slightly ahead in material. Not only that, it looks like both queens are under attack. The one on d8 by the rook on b8, even though it isn't defended by anything. But the queen on f6 is pinned against the king, and the rook that attacks it, the rook on f4, is defended by the bishop. So what should white do here? Let's look at some ways that white could go about this. Maybe queen on the d file to d6. How about that? So if here, rook captures queen with check, queen captures rook, and then rook to b7. Black is now ahead by a full rook. King to e8, rook to b8 check, king to f7. And you will notice in this position, there isn't much that black can do except hope for a perpetual check. If white makes the mistake of moving to e6, well then rook to b6 check. And if black tries something like rook to b5, the king will just move back to f7. Any other move like knight to e4 and queen to g7 mates. So there really is no way to stop the perpetual check. Even let's say bishop to e5, queen to h4 mates. So that would be a draw for black, which is good to know that white can draw with queen on the d file to d6. Another possibility is simply queen captures rook on f4. And here after rook to b7 check to gain a tempo to save that rook, king to e8, bishop captures queen, queen to f6, if knight to d3, queen to f5 check, king to g7, queen to g5 check. Yeah, that's right, because if bishop captures queen, white is stalemated. King to h7, queen h5 check, king g7, queen g5 check, and we have another forced draw. So even though white looks like he's losing here, the 2 queens can actually work together to ensure the position is drawn. But is there a way for white to win despite being in this position and having less material? Let's see what the engines say. Okay, so as we suspected, it is basically a dead draw except for one saving grace, which is a force mate in 5. Queen to d7. Okay, what happens if rook captures queen? Well, king captures rook with discovered check, of course. King to h6, queen to h3 check, bishop h4 cross check, queen captures bishop, checkmate. So that doesn't work. What about rook to b7? Queen captures rook, but note that this is not about capturing material. It's about checkmating the king. And now black really doesn't have much choice, because let's say if he tries something else, rook to g4, queen to c8, and then whatever black plays, even knight to e4, either queen to h8 is mate. So black can only delay here. Rook captures queen, king captures rook, bishop to c7, queen captures bishop, and wherever the king goes, g8 is mate, h6 is mate, h8 is mate. Looking back at the original position, I think most players would rather be black than white in this position. Yet, white can actually force mate. Imagine if this position occurred in a game between 2 grandmasters. People would probably be writing and talking about it for decades. Until next time.